This video is sponsored by Guapku. If you're looking for a reliable modded GTA account for PS4, Xbox One, or PC, then this is the place to go. Their link is in the description below. What the fuck? What's going on? Right, okay. What the fuck was that? Right, fake my skill. Let's go and get that wee boy. He'll cry. Hey, he'll ball his eyes out. I almost feel bad. I'm sorry, mate. Tell me I'd be mean to you, mate. It's just for a joke. Am I gonna fit between this? Yeah. Alright, where's the little fake skill boy? Where's he going? Is he in God mode? Yeah, he's in God mode. What are we showing? I mean, obviously he's in God mode. No, what do you reckon the other boy? Do you reckon he'll be in God mode as well? Place your bets. What'll it be? I bet 10 quid he'll be in God mode. Yep, there we go. Now you gotta give me a tenner, mate. Now watch them both cry. Of course they're in God mode. Snowflakes. Snowflakes. They can't handle it. They don't want this smoke. Should we go and kill little red mental state boy? Or will he be passive as well? Well, he already sees me coming. He's already taken evasive action, I think. No, he's just... I think that's him right there, isn't it? There he is. Yeah, I destroyed his vehicle, but I didn't get the kill. What a surprise. He's in God mode. That's 3 out of 3. The wee angry jet boys are coming now. Right, well, let's just lead them off. Let's just lead them off and away. Lead them off into absolute oblivion. At least that'll take them away from you know, it's taking him out of action. He's temporarily out of action. He's not going to be griefing anyone if he's way out in the middle of nowhere. Let's just take him up and away. Come on, mate, let's go. Away from all the innocent players. I don't want to be griefing them. Oh, is he shooting rockets? Yeah. I think he is. Getting a bit impatient. Gotta love that. Everyone is in God mode now. Like I said that in one of the videos that I've just put out. It's like, I think I said a few times, like, everyone is in God mode. I wasn't necessarily saying it completely literally, but that basically does seem like the case now. Yeah, he's still coming after me. Okay, I can see the boy. Where is he? No, I can't see him. There he is, all the way over there. Holy fuck, he's miles away. Come on, keep up, mate. Just getting a nice wee trip around the whole map. We've come around the whole map pretty much now, in a big circle now. Nice sweet trip that was. Is his wee mate gonna come kill me as well? For all I watch. No, he's too busy griefing noobs. Right, we're at max height pretty much. You travel quicker when you're higher up as well, so that's why I'm going faster than him. He's still after me, look at him. It's so funny how like, they would both be just dead right now. I would have taken them both out if it wasn't for God mode. So it's 1-0 on both of them then, isn't it? But they wouldn't consider it that. No. If they killed me, they'd be up 1-0. But I effectively killed them. No, that doesn't count though. No. Only they're allowed to get the kills. It's literally, bro. That's how you know they're just children. That is kiddie, that is kids' mindset, that is children mindset. Like, you always had that kid in Monopoly who always had to be the banker so that he could cheat and win. Bastard. Same as that dickhead I thought was my mate until he fucking conned me out of like 400 quid. Imagine that. Imagine, really, 400 quid? Like, if it was like 4 grand, maybe. But he fucked me over and made me pay 400 quid that he should have paid. Basically, he just avoided having to pay this thing. Like, he sold me the car I've got, and there was basically a problem with it that he should have got done, but he deliberately just didn't get it done. It's basically, I can tell you, but most people wouldn't know what it means. There's maybe some like mechanics out there, but it's called the timing belt. Basically, you need to get that replaced when the car reaches 5 years of age. or 80,000 miles. So yeah, just whichever of those the car reaches first. So whether it reaches 5 years of age first, or if it hits 80,000 miles before that time, just whichever of those come first. Like, that's what it like officially says, and a mechanic told me that. And yeah, so he had the car at that time. When he sold it to me, it was on 82,000 miles. So he did 2,000 extra miles beyond the point where he needed to have got it done. And the car was made in 2015 as well. And when he sold me the car, this was in like July 2021, so it was like 6 years old. So it was like past the time. So obviously, when he had the car, it reached 80,000 miles or 5 years of age. That happened when he had the car. When he sold it to me, it was way beyond that stage, so he should have got that done, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months or whatever before he sold it to me. But he knew that he was wanting to get a new car, so it's like, from his point of view, it's like, why am I going to pay 400 quid to get the timing belt replaced if I'm going to sell the car in a few months and get a new one? Like, that, from his point of view, yeah, and I do get it, but obviously, yeah, that is what you would want to do. It is technically in your best interest financially to do that. But still, you still don't do it though. That's what being a mate is. You still don't do that. Like when I was staying over at my mate's house last year, like, yeah, I could have ransacked his place and stolen a bunch of his money and just left in the middle of the night. I could have nicked like $1,000 in cash from my mate and just done a runner in the middle of the night and just fucked off. I could have done that. That would have been financially in my best interest to do that. I mean, obviously that's a bit different. That is like actual theft. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but it's still the same concept. Like, yeah, I still could have screwed my mate over for money, but you don't do that because it's your mate. Like, that's just what being a mate is. So that just proves that this little bastard was never my friend. I mean, he was always a little prick. No one ever liked him. Everyone always used to take the piss out of him. No one ever respected him. He was always a twat. But he was just someone to hang about with. Our life paths just kind of chucked us together, but we didn't. I mean, we were decent mates back in high school, but you could just tell he never actually ever valued me as a mate. I mean, would you fuck someone over for 400 quid if you did? When I confronted him on it, he would just chat in the most shit, just waffling on and on, just blaming me for a bunch of shit, just refusing to take responsibility, refusing to admit to it. Like, when I confronted him on the whole timing belt thing, he was just started going off about, oh, you hit a pothole and that might have damaged the car or something like that. Like, what the fuck's that got to do with it? Because, yeah, like, a couple months before this, I'd hit some pothole. There was like a pretty sharp turn in the road, and there was like a pothole right in the middle of the road. I didn't see it, so it was like too late. And it was a really bad pothole, so, but yeah, it was just bad luck, really. I wasn't even going that fast or anything. But yeah, so that made the tire blow out. I had to like wait on the side of the road and get the fucking AA to fucking replace the wheel, whatever. Yeah, it was a pain, but it wasn't that big a deal. I just had to have that spare wheel on for like a week. And I just got the tyre replaced. It wasn't that big a deal. It didn't damage the car or anything. It's just the tyre that was damaged that totally blew out to get replaced, but that was only like 100 quid. That wasn't that big a deal. So yeah, and when I hit the pothole, I like told him about it afterwards, or like later that day. I like mentioned it to him. So yeah, I mentioned it to him, but it's not like that big a deal. It's not like I like crashed. Like, everyone's hit a pothole. Like, even the taxi driver, when I was getting, like, when I took the car into the garage to get the wheel replaced, I got a taxi back home after. And yeah, I was talking to the taxi driver. She was like asking what the car's in the garage for or whatever. I told her that I'd like hit a pothole and blew the tyre out, and she said that she did that like 3 weeks ago. Like, that's a taxi driver. They're like a professional driver. They drive for a living. And my mum had hit one like 6 months previously. Like, everyone's hit a fucking pothole because the council is shit and they don't fix them, and they're always in like the most unexpected place. It's like not even your fault. Like, that's like one of the most annoying things, because it genuinely, like, it doesn't even really feel like it's your fault. It's just bad luck that it was where it was. And like, sometimes it's at night as well. It's like dark, so you can't really see them. Or sometimes you think it's like a puddle or something, or like, it's like everyone's hit a fucking pothole, come on. So he's like going on criticising me for that, when I confronted him about how he fucked me over for the timing belt thing. Because like I said, he had the car when it was at that at the point where you need to get that done. So I don't know what the mileage on it was when he bought it, but it was definitely below 80,000 because it was on 82,000 when I bought it off him. And it's not like he only ever did 2,000 miles on it. He had that car for like 2 years or something. So it was probably on like 50 or 60,000 miles when he got it. So like it obviously hit 80,000 when he was in possession of the car, and then still did another 2,000 miles beyond that, which is still months. Like, you know, like 2,000 miles is months still, especially if you only ever like use it to get to work and shit like that. So yeah, obviously it reached both of those like deadlines when he had the car. Obviously that's something that he should have got done, but obviously when it hit 80,000 miles he knew he was wanting to sell it soon, because I mean he sold it to me when it was on 82, so that's not that soon after. So when it was on 80,000 he obviously knew that he was going to be selling it quite soon, so he obviously just deliberately just didn't get that done, because if he was to have got that done it would have cost him like 400 quid or something like that, and then he's going to just sell the car a few months later. Like, I do kind of get it, but still, I mean, if I was in that situation, I still wouldn't have done that. Like, it just shows how little he actually ever valued me as a mate. Like, he never actually gave a fuck at all, really. Just fake. And that's just people. People are just like that. Literally, people are just like that. People will just do that. People are just pricks. Like, I just don't care for people, really. I'm just chill being, like, on my own. People suck. Life is so peaceful when there's not really anyone in it. It's when you start dealing with all these people, that's where you start getting stressed with all this bullshit. But yeah, so obviously from his point of view financially, I do kind of get that. But like, he knew that I did YouTube as well, and he knew that I make like a decent amount from that. So I guess in his mind, it's just like, he just thinks that I'm lucky because I make money from doing YouTube, and he has to work shitty jobs for his money. So I guess from his point of view, it's like, oh fuck him, he makes plenty money, fuck him, it's fine. He's lucky, he can just do YouTube for money, he's fine. You know, like, I guess from his point of view, he just thought like that. He was always really snobby and money orientated, like, everything always about money. But yeah, that's basically what happened. He basically just didn't get that done, and then sells the car to me, and then that's still needing done, obviously. It's months past the point where it was already needing done, and then I just then have to get that done. So then I have to take it to the garage and fucking get that done, and then I have to pay the fucking like 500 quid garage bill for that, for something that he should have got done. Look at that cyclist just comes out. Holy fuck. I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna survive this shit. Look at this. How is that kid right there? He's not even trying to kill me, look. I thought it was the kid who just chased me around the entire map. And he's right there, and he doesn't even give a fuck. I mean, he's probably just too slow. I think now he's realised, I mean... No, I don't think he even gives a shit. He was maybe just like a fan. Maybe he was chasing me around in a fan type of way. But yeah, obviously from his point of view, financially, I do kind of get it. But yeah, you still just don't do that though. That's just being a dick. But yeah, what was most funny about it, like, if when I confronted him about it, if he just like admitted to it and just said, yeah, okay, sorry, and if he was like honest about it, and said that, you know, you make money easier than me, 400 quid is worth way more to me than to you, and even if he was totally honest like that, we could still literally remain friends if he would actually apologise for it and do the right thing and take responsibility like that. We could still talk it out, and, you know, if he was short on money and that's why he did it or whatever, fine, I'm not, like, fine, I'm not that much of a dick. I would, hypothetically, I would probably forgive a mate for something like that. Like, depending on the circumstance, obviously, but, like, you know, I'm not that much of a prick. I would be pissed off, but it's, like, how they deal with it after. It's not even really about what they would do. It's about how you respond to it, what you say afterwards. That's what determines whether you're a prick or not. Like, you can do some dick move like that, but if you handle it well afterwards and you're honest and apologise when they call you out on it, because it's obvious that I'm gonna realise that. Like, oh yeah, there we go, finally. He's only just realised that he can now do that. Yeah, whatever, I'm done. This lobby sucks anyway. Or, well, is he gonna keep doing it? He's gonna just blow the crate up, isn't it? Can I get the warehouse is like right there. So like, ideally if I could get this delivered, that would be quite good. No, he's just gonna keep Idiot. Fucking span it. Right, he's just gonna keep doing that. If he would be honest and sound about it afterwards, like, you can still apologise and talk about it and get over it and still stay mates. It's not like it's like, well, I don't know. But yeah, I was obviously going to find out about it, because when he sold me it was needing done. And, you know, he was always banging on about the mechanics of cars and everything. He'd always claimed to know so much about cars all the time. So, like, he obviously knew about this. And if he doesn't, then it shows that he's not quite as smart about cars as he always used to make out. He always used to fucking go on and on about cars like he knows everything in the world about them, but... So, you know, if he didn't know about... I mean, even my mum knew about this. I remember telling my mum about that, and even she knew that you need to get the timing belt replaced when it reaches 80,000 miles or 5 years of age. Even my mum knew that. So if he didn't know that, then that just shows that he doesn't really know that much about cars after all. But yeah, he obviously didn't know about that. I feel like if he genuinely didn't know about it, then when I told him about it, he would have responded, like, saying that he didn't know about it, or he didn't know that that was needing done. You know, if he actually didn't know, I feel like he would have just said that, but he didn't say that at all. He just immediately starts blaming me for hitting a pothole like 2 months ago. Like, what? Because I was obviously going to find out about it. Like, it's not like he's going to just do that and I'm not going to know about it. Like, it's obvious that I'm going to take the car to the garage at some point. The mechanic's going to tell me about that at some point. Because the car was at like 85,000 miles or something, so the mechanic asked me if that had been done, and I told him no, and he said that should have been done at 80,000, and I bought it at 82,000, so it should have been done when he had it. He literally just should have got it done. Fact. Like, it was his responsibility to have got done, but instead he just didn't get it done, and then bung it off to me. But then I'm obviously going to have to then get that done at some point, and then I'm going to realise that it should have been done when he had the car, months before he sold me it. So I was obviously going to find out. It's not like that's just going to go away. Do something like that, I'm obviously going to find out about it. Fucking idiot. But yeah, and then when I brought it up to him, he just didn't want to talk about it at all. When I brought it up, I said it so many times. Like, so many times I said about the timing belt, and he just never once wanted to talk about it. Just every time I said the words timing belt, he would just change the subject and start having a go at me for something. Like, what the fuck? Fucking just sit there having a fit at me. Just blaming me for shit. Oh, well, you hit a pothole, and oh, that could have damaged the car internally, and like, what? Best bit is, he went flying off the road in his new car as well. So the new car that he got, basically he got a new car when he sold me this one. He sold me that one and got a new one. And the new car he got was this, like, BMW. I might have a photo of it. But yeah, so he got this new car, and he's all fucking bragging about it, posting it all over social media, and fucking, you know, just showing it off left, right, and centre, and all this lot, just flaunting it around like this expensive BMW, driving around like he's like rich as fuck, even though his mum just bought it for him. He put like $1,000 into it, his mum just pays the rest for it, and he drives around like he's like rich and he's made it in life, driving around in a car that his mum bought. The car was literally in his mum's name. Like my car, the car I've got now, the one I bought off him, it was never even in his name. It was his mum's name. I bought it off his mum. It was legally his mum's property. Literally, she paid like 90% of it. He only contributed like 10% of what it cost to buy the car. He told me this. Like, he literally only contributed about 10% of the money towards it. So it was only 10% his car. His mum just bought it and he just put in $1,000. So it's literally just his mum's car. I'm in my mum's car, broom broom. But yeah, he was always a snobby, arrogant twat. I don't want a mate like him anyway. Fuck him, he's a twat. I mean, even one of his best mates was always talking shit about him behind his back. But yeah, he's just snobby and arrogant, really egocentric, driving around in these expensive high-end cars like he's fucking rich and like he's made himself some fortune somehow. So yeah, he's got this new BMW which costs like 28 grand, and he's driving around in that thinking he's the absolute shit, driving around like an absolute pillock, speeding to fuck, and then goes flying off the road. He literally ditched the car. He sent me a photo of it. I didn't screenshot the photo or save it, so I don't have it, but I saw it. He took a photo of the car and he sent me it, and it was completely off the road. It was just on some road kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it was like, and there was like a bend in the road, and it was like, and it was in kind of like a forest sort of area with like trees everywhere and shit. And off down the left side of the road, it was like a downhill slope. It was like this muddy sort of sloped down. It was like a little sort of hill went right down. starting pretty much from the side of the road. So he obviously took this turn way too fast and just completely went sliding and just went flying completely off the road. And like I said, yeah, he sent me a photo of it, and you just see the car completely off the road, not a single tire on the road, like a good couple meters away from the road. It was like well off the road. So he'd obviously take this turn way too fast and spun out and went sliding right off the whole road, right down this downhill, this muddy downhill slope. Completely fucked it. It's not like he could like reverse out. Like he had to get out. The car had to get like hauled back up. Like the AA or whatever had to come and like pull the car out. It was just on like the mud, this downhill, yeah, like this downhill muddy sort of slope. And there was a tree like a fucking meter away from the car, which he almost fucking hit. Absolute lunatic. Driving like an absolute crackhead, going flying off the entire fucking road. And then he's lecturing me to be more careful driving because I hit a pothole. Fuck off. Absolute imbecile. What? Fucking hell. But yeah, so the minute I confronted him about the whole timing belt thing, because I'd obviously had to pay hundreds of pounds to get that done when he should have got that done, obviously, like I said. So yeah, obviously I confronted him on it and like told him about it, and when I realised that he had obviously just deliberately screwed me over like that, yeah, I confronted him on it. And yeah, like I said, I said about it multiple times, like he would just argue away, like every time I would bring it up. Every time I would bring it up about the timing belt, he would literally, every time he would just change the subject and would just be sat there blaming me for shit, and just, even though I'd done nothing wrong at all, I just called him out on the fact that he'd screwed me over like that. But yeah, so literally every time I confronted him about it and called him out on it, he would just change the subject and just start arguing. He would just argue away, and it would just go into some big old argument about fucking nothing, digging away for things to try and bring up about me, things that I'd done wrong or something. Just like, that's how you know he's guilty. That is completely just them admitting guilt. Because if they were actually honest and genuine and they didn't actually deliberately screw you over, if he actually didn't know that he needed to have got that done, or if there was some actual innocent explanation for it and it wasn't malicious like that, then he would have completely responded total calmly, just trying to talk about it and ask about it and just trying to sort it out. And apologising and saying that they didn't realise or whatever. Like, the fact that he just immediately starts arguing and becoming totally hostile the minute I would call him out on it, that completely just proves that he did deliberately fuck me over like that. It's like I was already like pretty much positive that he had deliberately done it like that, like maliciously like that. But when I confronted him on it, his reaction, that is what like seals the deal and what actually confirms it. Like, if they react like that, then that just proves it 100%, whereas you were already like 98% sure. That's just like the final thing you need to be sure that you're right. You know, you're not just like accusing them of shit that they didn't do and that you might be in the wrong or something. Like, there's no way you can get wrong. Those are the facts. Like, that's just what happened. That's just the facts. It needed to have got done at those times, and that was exactly when he had the car. That was long before he sold it to me. So he should have got them done, and he deliberately didn't, so that I would have to get it done and pay for it so he doesn't have to. That's completely all it is. And there's no kind of other explanation to it. Otherwise he would have given it. He would have given me one. Rather than just getting immediately defensive and arguing back about nothing. But yeah, that's just absolutely hilarious though. That is honestly so brilliant how he's... Like, he didn't just mention about the fact that I hit the pothole. He started lecturing me afterwards on driving. He just kept going on about that. Like, that was his counter to me calling him out and confronting him on how he'd scammed me out of 400 quid. That was his counter, is to just blame me for hitting a pothole like a month or two ago. And then he starts taking the fucking high ground, acting like he's a professional fucking driver, sitting there lecturing me, telling me to be more careful. I remember, obviously I didn't take screenshots of these messages or anything, but I remember it all perfectly well. He was literally saying, oh, you should drive more carefully. Oh, you should be more careful driving. There's a lot of potholes around. You should be more careful. You know, just being a fucking arrogant piece of shit, lecturing me on being more careful driving because I hit a pothole, which everyone's fucking done. I don't know many people who've completely went flying off the entire road, though. I've certainly never done that, so it's a bit ironic that he's lecturing me to drive more safely. Oh yeah, I haven't went sliding around a corner and went flying off the road into a ditch and have to get some van with a fucking crane on it to yank the car back onto the road. I've never had that. So you can sit there and fucking lecture me on careful driving when you haven't gone flying, skidding off the road at 90 miles an hour, you fucking lunatic. He was always bragging to me about how he was driving at 150 miles an hour as well. Like, man, that's just dangerous. But yeah, it's just ridiculous how he sits there thinking he's so much better at driving than me. Fuck off. Literally, like, how do you even do that? The car was miles off. It wasn't like it was just a bit off the road. It was completely and totally off the road. It was like 2 meters away from the road. Just about hit a tree. How do you actually even do that? You see that there's a turn coming in the road. You brake to speed where you're not going to go flying off the road. And then after the turn you can speed up again. Is it that difficult? How do you take a turn that badly that you go absolutely flying off the entire road? Like, mate. Holy shit. That's absolutely ridiculous level of, like, arrogance to be sitting lecturing me, telling me to drive more carefully or whatever. Fuck off. What, because of a pothole? Fuck off. I think he should be more careful so as not to go flying off the road again. The best part is, like I said, it's his mum's property, legally. It's his mum's car. This one was, and the BMW was as well. It's his mum's property. He's just contributed like 10 or 20% towards it. Like, he literally told me the figures, like the amount that he put in and stuff. It's literally 10 or 20% of it. The rest is his mum's money, and it's in his mum's name. She was the one transferring ownership to me. It was her name on the forms and everything. It wasn't his car. But he just loves driving around having that wealthy look. It's just good for his ego. I always knew that he was like that. He was always a right wee show off like that. Like back in high school when we were in a band, he would always come out with these really expensive new guitars. Oh, look everyone, look at this. And his mum just bought it for him. His mum just buys everything for him. His mum just spoiling rotten, buying him all this expensive shit, and he would always just go around flaunting it around, bragging about it and everything. But yeah, so this car was in his mum's name and his mum's legal property, as was the BMW, the new car that he got. But yeah, so the BMW that he went absolutely flying completely off the entire fucking road with, that was legally his mum's car, so she had complete authority and control over it. And yeah, so after he went flying after he went flying right off, I've said this so many times, yeah, after he went flying completely off the fucking road, down a steep muddy decline, almost hitting a fucking tree and totaling the car. Following this near-death experience, his mum didn't want him dead, so she took the car off him. She literally just confiscated the car, as is her right, with it being her legal property, like I was saying. I mean, obviously that is the correct decision to make. Of course, he had only had the car for, I don't think, not even 2 months. And he'd already went flying right off the entire road and almost completely crashed out. Fucking lucky that he didn't. Hitting a pothole is absolutely nothing compared to that. Come on, you can't even try and say anything to me about driving after he goes and does that. Ridiculous. But yeah, so that was his way of wriggling out of the timing belt thing. He didn't want to sit and actually discuss the timing belt issue, the actual relevant issue at hand that I'm bringing up. He didn't want to sit and have a talk about that, obviously. He doesn't want to say anything about that, does he? Because otherwise he's going to have to admit that he done wrong, and obviously he can't do that because he's too egocentric. That's what happens when you spoil a kid. They just think they can do whatever they want. They just think they're above everyone else like that. That is the product of spoiling a kid. You get that dickhead. But yeah, obviously that is the right decision to remove the car from him, because yeah, within not like 6 weeks of having the car, he'd already almost killed himself with it. So yeah, his mum sensibly took the car from him. Obviously, it's her property. She bought it, and it was in her name and everything. So she literally just returned it. I think. I don't know exactly, but you know, all I know is what he said. But she basically got rid of the car. Whether that be returned it to the person that they bought it from, or if they just resold it or whatever, I don't know. He didn't really say exactly, but his mum, yeah, took the car and literally just got rid of it, confiscated it from him. I mean, come on. How much of a kid can you be? Your mummy confiscated it from you. But yeah, so his mummy confiscated it from him before his fucking erratic driving combined with that powerful engine got him fucking absolutely impaled on a tree. And yeah, just completely got rid of the car. And then what he got after this as a replacement for the BMW that he lost, that he got confiscated from him by his mummy, the little baby. After that, yeah, obviously he was left without a car, so he needed a replacement. So what did mummy get him in replacement for the BMW? She got him a Volkswagen Golf, but an older version than this one, than my one, the one he sold me. The Golf he got after is just literally just like a normal Golf. It was like a black normal Golf. It wasn't like a GTD, it wasn't a GTI, it was literally just like a normal standard Volkswagen Golf. So yeah, it basically ended up being basically a net downgrade. Like, I would take this car over that one any day. That one's literally just like an older normal Golf. So I swear it's not even as good as this one. It's literally just a normal Golf. So to me, that basically seems like a net downgrade in total. It was meant to be this massive upgrade to this brilliant new BMW that he got. And he ended up just getting basically an older version of the same car he had before. And he almost died in the process. So like, I mean, that was a bit of a fail, a bit of a all around, a bit of an L, really. So yeah, that's basically the end of that story then. That's just basically my experience with what you would call a friend. I'm not saying everyone's a dickhead, but from experience, basically, pretty much everyone I've ever really been involved with in any way does end up being a prick. Otherwise, I'd still be mates with them now. And then he runs. I mean, what were the odds of that? 90%? 95%? Runs. See? Always. Every time. They just kill me, and then they run. They know that they're going to get met. They just... Is it my level? Like, a lot of people say, oh, it's because you're a high level, they're scared of you. Well, is it, though? Because loads of people also say, oh, level doesn't matter beyond 120. Yeah. Give me a 130, I'll fuck them up. Give me a level 200, I'll fuck them up. I have more experience on them. I have more experience on the game than a level 300. I've played it more, I'm better at it. Generally, at least. Obviously, a lot of accounts are modded these days. You get people on new accounts and shit like that. I'm talking generally. Jesus. But yeah, give me a level 150, I'll ruin them. They won't be able to do a thing. But yeah, that's the end of that story. I know I was going on about it for a while, but it was kind of, yeah, it's kind of a bit complicated. But that's basically what happened. He just screwed me over to save himself from having to pay 500 quid or whatever. And yeah, when I confronted him on it, he just started immediately going on about the fact that I hit a pothole. I think I said this, but yeah, he literally would just go on about that. He was saying about how I hit a pothole and what the fuck's that got to do with anything. I'm talking about the timing belt and how I just had to pay fucking hundreds of quid to get that done. It should have been done like a year ago when you had the car, you little bastard. And well, you hit a pothole. Oh. He's a fucking idiot, man. He just makes no sense. His brain obviously doesn't work properly because that just doesn't make sense. But yeah, and it just goes into some huge argument. I'm just completely shutting him down, and he can't say anything, so he just like runs off and just stops replying for like a month, and then I just like blocked him. Yeah, he's just a tool, he's a weapon, and why do you need that in your life? Why would you need him in your life? Is he ever gonna be my mate? Like, even if we were to make up, he's already shown his true colours now. It's not like he's actually a really good, nice, honest guy. He just did all this because he just felt like it, and then he apologises and we make up. Like, fuck off. Like, obviously I'm just going to block him, because it's not like we're ever going to be mates again after that. Why would we be? How would we be? I'm not ever going to be able to, like, trust him. So, like, that's like part of the definition of a mate, is like someone you can trust. So I'd never be able to trust him, so I'd never value him as a mate. He's always too self-centered to be a good mate anyway. Everything's just always all about him. He was always a twat, I never liked him. But yeah, that's the end of that story. It's pretty funny, I guess, but, well, I mean, it's kind of just sad. But, I mean, yeah, it's kind of maybe a bit amusing. But yeah, I'll end this one here now anyway, then. Thanks for watching. If you're still awake, comment. I love cheese, crusty bits, toasty. But, yeah, well done if you're still awake. This has probably been pretty fucking boring. But I don't care, mate. Do I seem like I give a shit? I don't care. I'm not uploading for the little dickheads that would find that boring. It's for all the wee jimmies that absolutely love videos like this. Because, I mean, yeah, sometimes I do get comments like, mate, your videos are boring, whatever. Like, most of the comments are people saying how much they like my videos. So, you know, so they're fucking happy, so cool. Why am I going to start changing how I'm doing it to try and please other people? I don't care. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I'm gonna stop fucking talking my head off now. Thanks for watching this video, mate. Please like and subscribe, and have a good day.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and